My name is Jasmine Hirsch from Hirsch Vineyards. I'm the general manager of Hirsch Winery, and we're here today in Skurnik's offices in New York City. The tasting that we did today began with a short presentation from my father, a talk about where, for him, is the source of the terroir at Hirsch. The second part of the event today was a guided tasting of 7 different wines, starting with the 1996 William Sellium Hirsch Vineyards Pinot Noir and ending with the 2016 Hirsch Eastridge Estate Pinot Noir. This is the first time in 4 years that my father's been in New York. It was just incredible to be in the room today and to see the interest of the community here in what he had to say and in the wines. The energy in the room was just amazing. Hirsch Vineyards is located on the extreme Sonoma coast, which is in the most northwestern part of Sonoma County. The vineyard sits at 1,600 feet elevation at its highest point, 2 miles from the Pacific Ocean. So we are isolated to an extreme degree, which is also quite interesting as we begin our practice of biodynamics at Hirsch. Biodynamics seems to me to provide the greatest opportunity for a truly ecologically sustainable place. The fragmentation and complexity of our farming is really driven by the proximity of the site to the San Andreas Fault, which lies just a half a mile from us. My father's from the Bronx. He went to Columbia University, made it through a few semesters and then dropped out. It was the 60s. He moved to California and ended up settling in the Santa Cruz Mountains, which is where he really started to fall in love with Pinot Noir. He was also in the fashion industry, which would take him to France. He would go to Paris, take the train down to Burgundy, and he fell in love with Pinot Noir really in the vineyards of Burgundy in the 70s. He purchased in 2 parcels a total of 1,100 acres, and then in 1980 planted the first vineyards. But in 1994, my father received 3 phone calls within the space of a month from Bert Williams of William Sellium, Steve Kistler, and Ted Lemon of Littorai. And these 3 gentlemen were in a tasting group together, and they'd heard about this crazy guy out on the coast, and they said, you know, we better go see this vineyard and see what's happening out there. He's never had a business partner until me. A few years ago, he said, okay, we're partners now. And it was probably one of the most proud moments of my life. 2 years ago, we hired a new winemaker, Anthony Filiberti. He's a partner at Anthill Farms and a co-winemaker there, and he was the winemaker. And we're incredibly excited to be working with Anthony, and we'll start releasing his wines from the 2016 vintage this fall. We're starting to see the effects of biodynamics on us as owners of the company and as managers, and how it's expanding out and touching everything that we do. While we have been farming for almost 40 years now, we've only been making wine for just over 15. So I think we're still very much in the process of learning what kind of wines the Hirsch site wants to make. When I go out in the market, I try to talk about the things that move me, that get me up in the morning, and those include stewardship of the land, care for our people, and of course making wines that are profoundly expressive of the site.